Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the facts, figures, and the cold, hard reality of owning the 2026 flagship Range Rover. We're going to break down everything from the ground up to help you decide if this legendary luxury SUV is the perfect rolling palace for your lifestyle, or if its notorious complexities will make it a permanent resident at your local mechanic's garage. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by meeting the 2026 Range Rover, then we'll weigh its merits in luxury and capability against its demerits in cost and complexity. After that, we'll find your perfect buyer match and wrap up with a final verdict. All right, part one, meet the 2026 Range Rover. Let's set the baseline. To be crystal clear right out of the gate, we're talking exclusively about the full-size flagship Range Rover here. Not the Sport, the Velar, or the Evoque, just the big one. And the very first thing you really need to wrap your head around is this number, a staggering $113,300. And get this, that's just the starting MSRP for the base P400 SE here in the US. That is literally just your entry ticket. It doesn't factor in taxes, dealership fees, or any of those tempting optional extras. To put it in perspective, if you step up to the V8-powered P530 SE, you're suddenly looking at a starting price of roughly $138,000. So yeah, we're talking about a massive financial commitment before the rubber even meets the road. But you know, the sheer versatility of this lineup really is something else. Land Rover is casting an incredibly wide net here. They've got configurations ranging from standard all the way to long wheelbase body styles, which means you can get anywhere from a spacious 5-seater to a fully family-friendly 7-seater. And the engine spread, just as massive. You can go from the mild hybrid P400 all the way up to the roaring SV V8. By offering a bespoke setup for pretty much any need, Land Rover isn't just selling an SUV. They're basically picking a fight with distinct heavyweights across the entire market. Everyone from the family-hauling Mercedes GLS and BMW X7, straight up to the massive Cadillac Escalade and Lexus LX. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood. The base P400 mile hybrid is absolutely no slouch. It pumps out 395 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. Not bad for heavy reg, right? But honestly, the real game changer here is the P550e plug-in hybrid. This thing bumps you up to a massive 523 horsepower and drops that sprint time to just 4.4 seconds. But the absolute kicker? It gives you an EPA-estimated 50-mile electric range, and you can fast charge it to 80% in under an hour. It literally transforms what is notoriously a thirsty heavy vehicle into an incredibly efficient daily commuter. You can handle all your city traffic running purely on electric power. Moving on to part two, merits. Let's get into the sizzle. When you step inside, the cabin is it's a masterclass in effortless luxury. I mean, there's a reason executives and celebrities absolutely flock to this thing. You've got options like executive class rear seating, heated armrests, yes, heated armrests, massage seats, and 4-zone climate control. But if you want to completely blow your mind, you have to look at the SV Ultra Trim. Get this. It features a sensory haptic floor, SV electrostatic sound, and these body and soul seats that quite literally let you feel the music through vibrations. It really transcends being just a car. It genuinely feels like your own private, first-class jet designed to completely isolate you from the chaos of the outside world. But hey, don't let all that leather fool you. This isn't just some soft, pavement-dwelling cruiser. Hidden underneath is some genuine, hardcore off-road hardware. While a lot of modern luxury SUVs would frankly panic at the sight of a muddy puddle, the Range Rover comes packing terrain response 2, an electronic rear-locking differential, and this amazing clear-sight ground view 3D camera. It basically makes the hood invisible so you can see exactly what's right under your tires. Combine all that with electronic air suspension and all-wheel steering, and it can absolutely conquer the wilderness. Even if, let's be real, the most treacherous terrain it actually sees is the curb at the local country club. Which brings us to part 3, demerits. Time for the reality check. Look, if your top priority is low running costs, you might want to look away right now. The parts and maintenance for this vehicle are, frankly, eye-wateringly expensive. You're dealing with massive tires, incredibly complex air suspension, and highly specialized hybrid components. And fuel economy? Yeah, that won't save your wallet either. The base mild hybrid only gets about 19 miles per gallon in the city. On top of that, it's a very wide, very heavy vehicle, which makes tight city parking a highly stressful, sweat-inducing task. But most crucially, the experts over at Edmunds rate its reliability a very cautious 6.6 out of 10, and early consumer ratings are sitting at a pretty grim 3 out of 5. So budgeting for extended warranties and premium insurance isn't just optional here, it's practically mandatory. To truly underscore this complexity risk, just take a look at this recent Reuters report from April 2026. A massive recall affected over 170,000 vehicles across the Jaguar Land Rover lineup because of a possible loss of drive power linked to a DC to DC converter in the hybrid drivetrains. This perfectly illustrates the modern reality we're living in. These vehicles are essentially giant rolling computers. The advanced software and electronics are exactly what provide that magical luxury feel, but they undeniably introduce a huge long-term risk. If you're shopping for one of these, you absolutely must check those VINs for software updates and pending recalls.
Okay, let's pivot to part 4, the perfect buyer match. Let's find your trim.
Because this lineup is just so vast, you really have to align your lifestyle with the exact right trim. Feel free to screenshot this, by the way. If you want a more controlled entry price to the brand, your value choice is the P400 SE. If your life revolves around urban driving and school runs, the city choice is definitely the P550e PHEV, so you can leverage that 50-mile EV range. Need to move the whole family? The long wheelbase 7-seat version is your perfect match. For the ultimate chauffeur-driven experience, you want the autobiography long wheelbase. Now, if your goal is pure unapologetic prestige, aim for the highly exclusive SV Ultra. And if you just want roaring sports car acceleration in a massive footprint, grab the P530 V8. There is quite literally a specific tool here for every demand. And finally, part 5, the final verdict: buy or avoid. It really all boils down to this one ultimate question. Should you actually buy the latest Range Rover? Does the commanding design, the serene ride, and that incredible, unmatched driving experience outweigh the undeniable financial gravity and the practical burdens of keeping it on the road? Well, the verdict is pretty clear. Buy the 2026 Range Rover if you want an unmatched, prestigious luxury experience. If you desire a serene, highly capable, and commanding SUV, it is absolutely brilliant. But, and this is a big but, absolutely avoid it if you're looking for simple, cheap reliability, or if you get easily frustrated by tight parking and frequent trips to the gas station. It's a vehicle that demands a very generous budget and a whole lot of patience to enjoy properly. Which leaves us with one final thought. When you weigh the soaring maintenance costs against the undeniable world-class comfort, is ultimate luxury always worth the ultimate compromise?